Hi everybody, my name is Rupa, working as assistant professor in Chabrol Engineering College and dealing the subject power electronic controllers and drives. And today's topic in this power electronic controllers and drives is drive employing a dual converter with non-simultaneous control. Okay, so we are having here two types of control, simultaneous and non-simultaneous. See here, first we will go to the non-simultaneous control. Actually, there are number of closed loop schemes which are dealing with the dual converters with these non-simultaneous control, and all are of possible value, all are of possible schemes only. And there are some differences in the following respects what I am explaining. First one, each rectifier will have first one separate firing circuit, or a single firing circuit may be used for both rectifiers. So if you are using two rectifiers, we can use a separate firing circuit for both the rectifiers, or only single circuit is needed for operating both the rectifiers. This is the first difference what the closed loop schemes are differing. And second one, the current control may be done by two methods. First one is inner current control loop or current limit control. So we have seen different types, inner current control loop and current control limit. So depending upon the application, they can adopt any one, inner current control loop or current limit control. And the third one is the rectifiers, which can be done either by advanced firing scheme or back EMF matching method. So we know that there are two types of firing schemes. First one is advanced firing scheme. In the before or four quadrant, we have seen this advanced firing scheme, and other one is their back EMF matching method. So there is also a difference between using the two. Next one, last one, the state of outgoing rectifier respecting turn off may be sensed either by directly sensing zero current or by directly sensing the state of the thyristors. So see here, in order to on the next pair of thyristors, we have to ensure that the current is zero in the before thyristors which they are on. Okay, so after ensuring the current zero, such that the zero current will be, armature current will be attained, after then only, by giving the time delay of 2 milliseconds to 10 milliseconds. Okay, so there will be a time delay of 2 milliseconds to 10 milliseconds. We have to give the time, and we have to ensure that the before thyristor pair is off. Then only we have to on the next thyristor pair. So for this, we have to sense the current that it is zero or not. So for going to turn off methods, whether the thyristors are off or on, we have to sense the thyristors. So this sensing is by two methods: indirectly sensing the zero current, or directly by sensing the state of the thyristors, whether they are off or not. Okay, so there are many aspects which they differ. So if you go on talking like this, we will get many differences, but we are listing here only important one. So the scheme which we have to employ for a particular application, this will be selecting depending upon the requirements that are related to the state of response, or that are related to the speed of response. So if a drive is having a high performance, or we require any drive to be high performed, then we will employ inner current loop, and we will employ the back EMF method. In the rectifier switch, we can go for back EMF method, and in employing the current control limit, we have to employ the inner current control limit. And in the fourth one, we have to sense the direct sensing of the state of thyristors. These are all ticked for the high performance drive. So see here, for the high performance drive, we have to tick inner current control loop and back EMF matching method and directly sensing state of thyristors, and a single circuit separate firing circuit for each one. These are ticked for the high performance. Okay, so for slower performance, if the drive is a slower performance drive, then we have to tick the remaining one. Okay, so for inner control loop, separately firing circuit, we have to take confirm. And zero current sensing, I will, if you take the inner current loop and you will take the separate firing circuit, and if you select the first one sensing zero, what happens I will discuss now. See here, suppose if you take the figure before figure 5.9, the inverse cosine firing angle which is described in before sections, it is used. So we have used in one section inverse cosine firing angle, right? So you learnt about inverse cosine firing. So we have to adopt this scheme, and the firing pulses for the thyristor of the rectifier 1. For the rectifier set 1, these are produced at the intersection of control voltage VC with the reference voltage what we are having. So what are the reference voltages? These are solid lines. I will show you the figure. This one 5.9, in this section 5.9, see here, the firing pulses for the thyristors of rectifier 1. Okay, for the rectifier 1, see here, for the rectifier, this is the one. So here we are producing a intersection of the control voltages with the VC, right? Here VC. Okay, so now the reference voltages from VR1 to VR6, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, right? So these reference voltages, that means the solid lines means this one, not dotted lines like this line, solid lines. Okay, so the references vectors from VR1 to VR6, these are obtained from the phase voltages minus VB. So these are minus VB, VA, minus VC, VB, minus VA and VC. So I will show you in figure here. See this. From R1 to R6, these are the voltages. So first one is minus VB and after that VA. See from the figure, R1 to R6, A, B, C. So minus VB, next VA, minus VC, VB, minus VA and VC as shown in figure 10 here. This one, this figure 10. So we are getting the voltage like this. The firing pulses for the thyristors of rectifier 2 are obtained at intersection VC. So first intersection is also done at VC, and now with reference voltages VR dash, these are the references voltages for rectifier 2 and these are the reference voltages for rectifier 1. Okay, so VR1 dash to VR16 we are giving to rectifier 6. So these are the dotted lines and these are the solid lines. Right? So this here again VB, positive VB minus VA, so inverse of first one. So if you are having in first rectifier minus VB VB is the first voltage, here plus VB. There VA minus VA, like that inverse of voltages. So the transfer characteristics are shown here. These are the transfer characteristics. And this master control in the figure 5.9 here, the master controller here, this one. The master controller will have the following functions, what I am telling. First one is through the logic variables F and V block. Here F and V block, through the logic variables F and V block, it will be deciding which of the two rectifiers will receive the firing angle. Okay, so this F and V block will be deciding to which rectifier the firing angle has to be sent. So when both F and V block are 1, then rectifier 1 will be receiving the firing angles. Okay, next, when F dash, see here this is F dash. See here, this is F dash and this is F. When F and V block are 1, then rectifier 1 will be receiving the firing angles. See, and if F dash and V block are 1, okay, so if F and V block are 1, then rectifier 1 will be receiving the firing angle. Now, if F dash, like this, F bar and we are having 1, then rectifier 2 will be receiving the firing pulses. Okay, now if V block is 0, none of the rectifiers will be equal to 0. Sorry, are receiving the firing angles. If V block is equal to 0, if V block is equal to 0, then no rectifier will be receiving the firing angle. This is the function of master controller, first function. Next function is, it senses the polarity of IA dash. This one, it senses the polarity of IA dash. Okay, and current 0, IA is equal to 0, it will be also sensing. Suppose if the IA is negative, IA star is negative. If this IA star is negative and IA is 0, okay, IA star is negative and if IA is equal to 0, right? Okay, if IA is equal to 0, then it initiate the process of switchover from rectifier 1 to 2. Okay, so the rectifier 1 will be turned off and rectifier 2 will be on. If the condition exists, what is the condition? If IA is negative and IA star is negative and IA is 0. So if the master controller senses that IA star is negative and IA is 0, it switch on the rectifier 2 from over 1. On the other hand, if it is positive, if IA star is positive and IA will be equal to 0, then it initiate the process of switch over from rectifier 2 to 1. So here from 1 to 2 exists, and in the reverse condition, if IA is positive, then from rectifier from 2 to 1, the rectifier 1 will be on, switching over from 2. So this is the second function of the master controller. Now the last most important function, it implements the process of switchover. Okay, so it is regularly doing the switchovers by setting V block to 0. It draws the firing angles from the outgoing rectifier. Okay, if V block is equal to 0, what happens? No firing angle will be given to the rectifiers, right? So instead of giving the firing angles, it will be drawing back the firing angles, draws the firing angles from the outgoing rectifier when V block is equal to 0. Okay, so after a fixed delay, some time, if you set for 2 milliseconds to 10 milliseconds, again it releases the firing pulses to to the incoming rectifier when the V block is again set to 1 and F or F dash is on. Okay, so when the V block is 0, it will be drawing the firing angles with the corresponding rectifier, and after a time delay of 2 to 10 milliseconds, it will put some time delay. After this time delay, it again gives the firing angles to the corresponding rectifiers. So if F and V block, and putting V block is equal to 1, it puts V block is equal to 1. At V block is equal to 0, it draws the firing angles. When the V block is equal to 1, it gives the firing angles to the corresponding rectifier depending upon the F. If F is on, one rectifier will be giving firing angles. For one rectifier, there will be giving firing angles. If F dash is equal to 1, always V block is equal to 1 in both the conditions. So if F dash is equal to 1, then rectifier 2 will be getting firing pulses after the delay time 2 to 10 milliseconds. Right? So this VCO control and the associated connections I have shown you in the figure by the dotted lines. Okay? By the dotted lines. Solid lines are for V block and dotted lines VF, and dotted lines are for VCO control and the associated connections with these VCO controls. So these dotted lines will be mainly implemented for back EMF matching method. Right? We are having two types of methods. With the back EMF method, we are having advanced firing scheme. So these the normal lines will be pointing out the advanced firing schemes. So this is termed as the advanced firing scheme. FV block, owning and offing of FV block, it is called as advanced firing angle scheme. And dotted lines under the control VCO, these are implementing back EMF matching methods. Okay, so we are calling this as VCO control because it sets the initial value of VC for firing circuit. Okay, so whether we have whatever rectifier we have to give the firing angles, actually at initial this VCO will be setting. That's why we have to call it as VCO control. So this VC will be set to the incoming rectifier and make its output voltage under continuous conduction, that is equal to the back EMF. Okay, it puts the rectifier equal to back EMF voltage, and it is also called as initialization of PI controller. Okay, it is also called as initialization of PI controller. And this is also controlled by the master controller. This is also controlled by the variables F, F dash, VCO, like that. Okay, so this VCO controller will be operating on the current controller 2 when F is 1 and on the controller 1 when F is 1. Okay, so if VC is 1 and F is 1, then rectifier 1 will be on. So reverse, F dash is on, VC is 1, rectifier 2 will be on it. Okay, so this VCO always operates on ideal rectifier. So this is the examination of function 1. What is the function value of 1 in VCO means? It is operating on ideal rectifier. And a reference signal here, VR, is obtained from the tachometer, which is related to E. And this will be proportionally constant to VC. So with VA under continuous condition, it is compared with the actual output of the current controller of the ideal rectifier here. So the error is amplified. When it compares, the error will be amplified and it is fed to the input of the current controller, and this will be forcing the output to VR here. So thus the output voltage from here, we can see that the output voltage of the current controller of the ideal rectifier will be continuously tracking the motor back EMF. So when this ideal rectifier is switched on, its terminal voltage will be under continuous this gives, if you use the back EMF feather, this will be giving fast switchover without current surges. Current surges means peak current surges. And as I mentioned in the previous sections, from the consideration of number of converter switchovers, we are using various speed settings. So there are mainly 3 types of speed settings, classified into 3 types. See here, decrease in the speed in the same direction. First one is decrease in speed in the same direction, and second one is speed reversal, and third one is increase in the speed in the same direction. Okay, so what we have discussed up to now is dropping into the category of decrease in speed in same direction. So what are the 3 various different speed settings? First one is decrease in speed in same direction, increase in speed in same direction, and speed reversal. Okay, so the first type of reference speed setting we have discussed until now. In this case, 2 switches, 2 switchovers are required here for our drive. 2 switchovers are required, one from motoring to braking and other from braking to motoring, reverse. Okay, so now we will see that switchovers. So I am assuming that the drive is in forward motoring in the steady state. Okay, now the rectifier 1 will be conducting. So when the rectifier 1 will be conducting, see here, I am assuming that forward motoring is there. So we have to switch over into braking, right? Forward motoring is there and rectifier 1 is conducting, and omega m star is equal to positive. Okay, these are the considerations initially I am taking. Next, now the logic variables f and v block are set. Okay, so when we set this f and v block, see, I have shown you before, if I set f and v block as 1, which rectifier will be on? First rectifier will be on. Okay, so if I set 1 and f and v block 1, first rectifier will be on. So current controller 1 and firing angle will be in operation, and current control 2 is under the control of VCO, right? Current controller 1 will be in the operation and firing angles will be sent to 1. Now current controller 2 will be under the VCO control, right? So this will be keeping VC2 proportional to back EMF. What is the value of VCO there? Current controller 2, VC2, which is proportional to back EMF. Now the current reference IA star and motor IA are positive and error signals. See here, so IA star is positive and IA is present. So what happens? IA star is positive means what happens? The error signals EW and E1 are nearly 0 because the PI controllers are under action. So errors EWM and E1 are nearly 0. Okay, so if the errors are 0, what happens? In the forward motoring, these are the conditions. Okay, so in the forward motoring, E and EWM and E will be 0 if rectifier 1 is on. Now we have to switch over to we have to switch over to forward motoring to braking. Now what will we say, do means we have to reduce this omega m star. Okay, now the reference speed will be reduced. So it produces, up to now the errors will be 0. Now it produces negative speed error and negative current reference IA dash. Okay, IA dash will be positive to negative. It will be changing over from positive to negative and there will be produced some errors. Now the rectifier, the firing angle of rectifier 1 will become large enough to force IA to 0. So now what happens? IA will be negative and IA will be forced to 0. So as IA will be less than 0 and IA is equal to 0, the master controller sets V block to 0. So what happens when V block will be 0? The firing angles will be withdrawn from the both the rectifiers. So when V block is 0, what is the function of the master block? The master block will be drawing the firing angles from both the rectifiers, because 1 is on and 2 is under control of VC0. Okay, so after a period, delay period, what is the time of delay period? 2 milliseconds to 10 milliseconds. So after a period, this V block and F dash are set to 1. So when F dash is set to 1, what happens? The firing angles will be released to second rectifier. Okay, now there will be transfer of VCO control from 2 to 1. Until now, the VCO control is taken for rectifier 2. Now there will be a changeover of the function of VCO from 2 to 1. Okay, now the VC2 is already, we have set the VC2 to max to equal to the back EMF voltage, right? So now the rectifier 2 will be switching in fast without any current surges. Okay, now the motor will be regenerating under the current control and the speed falls. Speed will be decreasing. So meanwhile, the VC1 is continuously set proportional to the back EMF VC0 control, right? So when the actual speed omega m becomes less than the reference speed setting omega m star, so if omega m is less than omega m star, then again IA star become positive, and the output voltage of rectifiers 2 is large enough to force IA is equal to 0. So now IA star is positive and IA is 0. Now again the master controller will be setting V block to 0. So what happens? Again it draws the firing angles from the both the rectifiers. So after drawing the firing angles from the rectifiers, again it will give time delay of 2 to 10 milliseconds. After that, the master controller sets F and V block as 1. So if F and V block is 1, again rectifier 1 will be released firing angles. So again there will be a shifting of control of VC0 from controller 1 to 2 again. So VCO will be again controlling from 1 to 2. So now this drive will be now settling. This is a cyclic process, and now the drive will be settling when the desired speed is set. When we attain the desired speed, up to then the microcontroller will be on and VCO controller will be coming into action. So here we are attaining a continuous conduction process and the EMF will be equal to the back EMF. So when we need the application in such that continuous conduction is assured and the incoming rectifier at the time of switching and the back EMF matching method allows you a fast switch in without a surge currents. Okay, so here one of the disadvantage is the incoming rectifier will be operating in discontinuous conduction mode at the time of switching. Okay, at the time means a very narrow time, we can neglect that. So the rectifier terminal voltage and back EMF will be differently, because we are saying up to now that the terminal voltage, the rectifier terminal voltage and the back EMF will be equal. So this may be differ sufficiently to give a current surge. Okay, so in this case we say that VC1 is set for value of VR minus delta V and VC2 is set for VR plus delta V, where we are taking delta V as a fixed bias voltage, and the voltage VR, it has a still same relation as the E when just timed out. So this is drive employing a dual converter with non-simultaneous control. So if you take a simultaneous control, it is also same explained. Okay, so an open loop drive with inner current control and employing a dual converter with simultaneous control is already shown in previous sections. Now each reverse of the ticked items we will see. Okay, so what I have ticked: separately firing circuit, back EMF measure, inner current control loop, like that. So reverse